Stop playing with them.
Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross. Welcome to my podcast. This is where we talk about entrepreneurship, digital marketing, being a digital nomad, and much, much more. I really hope you enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross. Hi, hello, hey, hi. I'm going to talk to you about success. Yes. Hi, it's Nicola here and I am in Sydney, Australia. I've just arrived from England and a very long flight it was too, but made more bearable by the fact I treated myself to some noise cancelling headphones which cut out not only the sound of the babies screaming on the plane but the sound of the engine. It made a huge difference, so I recommend those to you. So here I am in my brother's flat in Potts Point and I've got the most amazing view. Let me just show you out of the window. It's incredible. I'm off up to the Gold Coast tomorrow to go and speak for Neil Asher, who's a very old friend of mine from England, and he's got an Australian wife and he's got an Australian business. He's got lots of properties and businesses all around the world, but one of his main ones is the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, and he teaches people how to make money on Amazon. So he's really, really good at it. So if you're looking to find out how to do that properly, then go to nicolacairncross.com/Asher and you will find a link to his website. But I'm going to be speaking to a room full of 200 Aussie online entrepreneurs. I did really well the last time I came. Loads of people joined up for my Be Everywhere online program, and I'm looking to beat my previous record. It was 25% of the room last time. This time it's double the room size and I'm looking to do more than 25%. I want to welcome more than a quarter of those people in that room into my Be Everywhere online program. So let's see how I get on, shall we? I'm going to tell you a bit about how I got here in the middle section. Okay, well, in this section I want to tell you a little bit how I got to Sydney in the first place. It was a really very spooky story, very funny story. Last year sometime, my mentor, James Schramko, has an event and he put the event tickets for sale, and they're very, very cheap if you buy immediately. So I did that, not knowing whether I'd want to come or not knowing if I'd be ready to get out of Greece, whether you know I was feeling in the mood to travel or anything yet. But I trusted that I would be by this time, because it's now 3 years since Steve died, and I'm not, you know, I miss him every day, but I'm feeling better on a day-to-day basis. So I bought my ticket anyway, and within 2 days of buying my ticket, my friend Neil contacted me and he said, do you want to come and speak for my Aussie Online Entrepreneurs again? He said, I'd love to have you, and you know, I'm going to be going over there and you can stay in my Airbnb and all that business. I'll make it as easy for you as I can. And so I looked at the dates, and James's event is the 3rd and 4th of April, and Neil's event is was the 16th and 17th of March. Well, that is just phenomenally close. I couldn't believe how close they were, two or 3 weeks in between them. So I then thought, well, okay, well, I can only do this if I don't have to stay in a hotel, because that would just be ridiculous. And I thought about an Airbnb, and then my brother popped up into my mind, and I thought, well, he came to stay with me for 5 weeks back in Greece in last year, so I'm sure he can put up with me for 2 or 3 weeks in between my speaking engagements. So I got in contact with him, and it turned out even more fortuitous. He was off volunteering somewhere and he wasn't going to be in Sydney at all. So his flat was sitting empty, which he didn't want to happen, and I get the use of it for free for all that time, which is just brilliant. years. So at that point I'm thinking this is definitely meant to be. And I'm sure that the only reason that all those things fell into place was because I've been working very hard on meditating and visioning and journaling, and working very hard on feeling grateful and gratitude. And also, you know, I've had quite a few setbacks since Christmas in my business, and some really major ones actually. And I've worked very hard on keeping my mindset positive and grateful, and not letting myself dwell on the negatives, but instead focusing on the positives. And one of the positive things that I wanted to do this year was to travel more for work. I'm not really very good at just going places for the, you know, sightseeing. You know, I'm not really that bothered. I like a bit of sightseeing, but I wouldn't ever travel anywhere to go and do it necessarily. Because, you know, let's face it, we've seen most everything on films and television, haven't we? So I don't get that much of a buzz out of standing in a real sort of temple or a real, you know, bit of architecture, although I do appreciate things. So yeah, so I like to go somewhere for business and then go and sightsee. That's my ideal trip. So it's a bit magic really that all of this fell into place and made it so easy for me, just because, and I'm sure because of the fact that I've been working so hard on my mindset, my attitude, my gratitude, and not letting the things that have happened to me that have not been so great push me back into a negative mindset. I just expected everything to work out, and it did. So how can you turn every single negative thought you have into a positive or grateful one? I'm convinced that not only is this a secret of success, it's the secret to true happiness. So what's on the blog and the podcast this week? Well, on Own It episode 217, we're talking about how I can feel less busy and stressed. Now, I don't want you to think by any stretch of the imagination that I work too hard, because I don't. I have a very nice social life in Greece, and that sort of kicks off about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I go out and have a good time. But in the run-up to coming here, well, in fact, since Christmas, I've been feeling very busy and stressed, even though it was all in my head mostly, as we discovered when we talked it through. But I did have a lot of things to achieve, and I did have quite a few setbacks in my business between Christmas and now, and it's only really now that I'm here in Sydney, jet lagged as ever, but I've got quite a lot of free time coming up over the next 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm looking forward to unwinding. But it was an interesting conversation, and Judith did some of her finest coaching, and so you can hear her in action at Own It the Podcast .com/217, or of course on my blog at nicolacairncross.com/blog. And on the latest episode of the V-Zine, episode 92, I'm reminding you to be very cautious of who you take advice from. Please only take advice from people who have done what you want to do in the way that you want to do it. It's very easy to get sucked into listening to the opinions of others, and that is all they are, opinions, if they haven't done the thing that you want to do. And just, you know, let them put you off, get you down, make you think you're not good enough, and indeed, you know, you need to go and find real mentors who've done what you want to do in the way you want to do it. So that's episode 92 of the V-Zine, and I'll be seeing you next week when you'll hear all about how my speaking engagement went. Well, the first one anyway. Have a great week. You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross. I really hope you enjoyed the show. Come and find me online at nicolacairncross.com or on social media, Nicola CairnX. If you like any of the music on this podcast, then for the credits, just come to my YouTube channel, which is UK Marketing Mentor, or my Facebook page, Nicola Cairncross UK.